Hey, Team Greely. Welcome to the Rugged Professional Studio for this quarter's coffee and conversation with our Garrison Commander, Lieutenant Colonel Keith Marshall. We're so excited to sit down with Colonel Marshall today and talk about his vision for Fort Greely's future. You'll notice that we don't have an in-studio audience for this episode of Coffee and Conversation, but don't fret. We will have an audience next quarter. However, Colonel Marshall still wants to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, please drop a DM below or comment below, and we'll make sure that he hears you and that you get a timely response. So let's sit back, have our coffee, and enjoy our conversation with Lieutenant Colonel Marshall. Sir, the floor is yours for opening remarks.
Just excited to be here today and be able to address and talk to our community. Thank you to the PAO team for putting this on.
Absolutely. To our friends online, we're so glad that you're watching. Okay, you ready, sir?
Yep.
Let's go. So you've been in command for 40 days. Tell us a little bit about what your first impressions are of Team Greely and how your transition was for your family.
Well, first of all, transition has been great, and the first impressions have been great as well. Honored to be a part of this team and the community as a whole. I also wanted to take the opportunity to thank a lot of the folks that have helped us out. The Fort Greely Garrison team, the 49th Missile Defense Battalion, Fort Wainwright Garrison, the Cold Region Test Center, including our other mission partners here on post, and then the city of Delta Junction, rural Deltana, Fairbanks, and the city of Valdez for all the support and the welcoming of me and my family to the area. This move has been a little difficult. Sleeping on an air mattress for the last 60 days has been a little challenging. But now that we've got our household goods, things are starting to get established in the house, so that's a lot
good.
better. But the Fort Greely has really shown us, their hospitality, and we really appreciate that.
I'm so glad, sir. Being that this is a small, intimate community, can you share your thoughts on National Night Out as a community building event and tell us just a little bit about what people can expect and why you think that having a relationship with the Directorate of Emergency Services is such a good thing?
Yeah, so National Night Out is an opportunity for the community to come together for safety purposes, to learn not only their local law enforcement and emergency services, but also to meet their neighbors and form those bonds in the effort to unite the community towards, preventing criminal activities and crimes in the community. So definitely encourage everybody to introduce yourselves to our local law enforcement and the emergency services, the medics, the paramedics that might be out there for with the displays, the static displays tonight. So definitely go up, say hello to them, get to know them. And then what to expect is it's going to be a lot like a picnic. There will be food. There will be information tables that you can go and pick up some information that the law enforcement might have. Then there's some other ACS information, some different organizations out there that you can pick up some stuff. So I think it's going to be a great event, and I look forward to seeing everybody out there tonight.
Oh, good. So we're talking a little bit about community, and August is Anti-Terrorism Month, and it's we hear in the news about how foreign actors are trying to get onto military installations, and obviously Alaska is not exempt. What can Team Greely do to protect ourselves from terrorism and threats in general?
So, just as the saying goes, I think if you see something, say something. Just, keep a lookout for things that may seem out of place or things that are not in the normal routine of things that you normally see.
Yeah.
And bring that up. I mean, if it's something that is a small thing, it could turn out to be a big thing because obviously terrorists have shown that they probe, they do rehearsals, things like that, and that's what we're looking out for is those small things to see, what they may be trying to, what kind of response that they may be trying to enact, or see what a response time is or something like that. So the community plays a huge role in that anti-terrorism effort, and we want to make sure that we're keeping our eyes out and remaining vigilant. Fort Wainwright has had a lot of problems with local nationals and other folks coming on to the installation in the recent past. We've been fortunate here at Fort Greely that we haven't had many attempts, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't happen.
Absolutely.
So we definitely need to stay vigilant and look out for each other.
I agree, sir. And community just seems to be the theme of the day. This Friday, we have our Garrison Organizational event. And this year, it's going to be a little bit different than any just organizational event. You have directed that families of the Garrison employees be invited. Why such an emphasis on family? Why is it important to you?
Well, family is important, I think, to everyone, and that's something that I definitely want to promote in my time of command here, is that this is a family environment. For the organizational day that we're about to have at the end of this week for our Fort Greely Garrison teammates and their family, we want to make sure that they are, part of the team. I mean, they need to come break bread with their loved ones, and then spend time with the teammates to be able to see what they do, how who they interact with day to day, and then on the other side of the coin, who interacts with them. So I think it's super important. I think that we need to definitely keep promoting events where the families are our centerpiece of what we're doing, and
For sure.
have people come out and enjoy time together.
So what can people expect at Org Day?
So we're going to have fun games. We're going to have food. We're having a pig roasted, so should be
Awesome.
a big amount of food there. There will be a chili cook-off and also a dessert cook-off, and then I think there's some prizes to be won from AFES and FMWR stuff donated for them too. So
Absolutely.
so excited.
Just a quick plug to the community. If you are a Garrison employee and you're interested in signing up for the chili cook-off or the dessert bake-off, head over to the Community Activity Center and sign up for those fun contests. So, sir, next question. There's a lot of ways to build up a community, but we also have been seeing a lot of the chapel these days. Chaplain Cargill has been embracing soldiers and families heavily. We just had Vacation Bible School wrap up, and that was a fantastic event. We had the Chaplain Corps Anniversary Prayer Luncheon, and then Chaplain Cargill is planning on a paint and play event for families on August 11th. How do you think that the chapel has been doing?
Well, I'm extremely pleased with the leadership that Chaplain Rob Cargill and Sergeant McIrvin are having over there at the chapel, and bringing in these new methods and ways to be able to have different events over at the chapel. His wife, Tara, has also been a great asset to the Garrison team.
She's fantastic.
There is multiple avenues that they're working with the Sunday service over there as well, where it's bilingual service as well. So it's English and Spanish. And Chaplain Cargill is relearning Spanish to be able to support some of that. And then it's so important that we continue to build our community, especially in this post-COVID age, that we really take the time out and try to bring the community back into these settings where we can enjoy each other's company and lean on each other if need be throughout the years. Also, do want to thank the 49th Missile Defense Battalion's ministry team, Chaplain Sean Crow and Sergeant Medlin. They've been also very supportive to our
absolutely.
team. So definitely wanted to recognize them. It's not just an individual effort. It's a team effort, and that's the only way that we're going to be able to be successful.
Absolutely. I was just thinking earlier, last week I had to go take some photos of the Vacation Bible School, and to go in there, I was thinking about when COVID hit and we had to virtually stream the chapel services, and only about 2 to 3 people were allowed in there at one time. And to go in there and see kids running around and, adults having fun, everybody together, it was just such a amazing sight. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I love seeing that. So this summer has been so busy and continues to be so busy. We had You Just Take Command. We had, we're still looking for the replacement for the deputy to the Garrison Commander. We had a leadership change at the 49th with Colonel Lorenzana taking over the battalion. That's a lot of change. What is your advice for navigating seasons of change like this?
So, as everything within the Army, change is coming, and this is a summer of change, as most are. We're having a lot of turnover this year, and people in new people in new places and new spaces. So, but fortunately, we are definitely blessed with some really good leaders, and also the civilian corps that continues to carry the weight of the activities, supports very well. So it makes it easy for some leaders to make that transition, and the professional soldiers. So the best way to navigate this is continue to work your processes. The simple basic things like blocking and tackling and football that's how you win these type of games, is you block and tackle.
Yep.
So that you can get to those second and third order levels of play. It's the same thing here. We focus on the basics, do the basics well, and then we'll open up our opportunities to do more complex activities. So, that's the thing about these transitions, is that they happen. But we will continue marching along, and we are going to be successful.
Sir, that was a really great analogy you gave me there. I love it. So let's circle back around previous coffee and conversations. We've talked about 24-hour fitness. We've talked about the CAC and their expansion and the Java Cafe. We've talked about after-hours pharmaceutical provision. We've talked about food trucks. We know that Latte Love is being remodeled. However, it was supposed to be done at the end of July, and it's now August, and we haven't seen it. When can we expect all of these things that have been promised to come into fruition?
Yes, absolutely. So, just like a lot of things in the military and the government as a whole, we do have to go through a lot of processes, and to be able to get things done through contracts and through budgeting, some different options. And sometimes those don't always meet, our desires, because you don't ever want to rush to fail.
Sure.
So a lot of these have a lot of headway has been made for these. So like the CAC expansion and the Java Cafe, those are multi-year projects. The Java Cafe is supposed to be done by the beginning of this next year, calendar year. And then phase 2 of that's going to be the expansion with the playground inside of the CAC. So those are on track, so we look good there. Things like the 24-hour fitness, we wanted to have that to the community as soon as possible. Unfortunately, with some of the cameras and some of the authorities that we have to get put into place before we can turn those on and put them in, those processes have to be approved and go through the work. So those are at those upper levels in the MCOM arena. So we're really trying to push those as soon as possible. I don't want to commit on a date because I don't know a date that I can give. But we are working as hard as we can to try to get that to our teammates and give that capability. As far as the pharmaceutical pickup, that is actually out there. However, it's having some connectivity issues back to the main servers, so we're troubleshooting that as well. Hopefully, we will have some breakthrough and headway in that in the next few weeks. So
Good.
look out for that. As far as the barbershop and food trucks, some of those contracts that we've been looking to get filled by those organizations weren't able to be supported due to either manning shortages or they just don't have somebody resident yet to be able to do that activity. So those are still out there. They're on the table and a priority for the garrison to continue those quality of life upgrades. And I guess a good news story would be the Latte Love is complete,
Yes.
and we're waiting for that to reopen here in the next week or two, hopefully. So stand by. We should see some movement on that here shortly, so we can all get our coffee and our sandwiches there.
Thank the Lord.
Yeah.
Shameless plug. Everybody go get Brenda's sandwiches when she opens back up. They are fantastic.
Yes, and also. And it's my commitment through this. This is my first 40 days, and my first 90 days. I'm really taking a look at all the processes and accountability measures that go into all of these things. So anything from contracting to the way that we keep accountability of equipment. Those are all things that I'm taking a look at and plan to hopefully strengthen those processes and keep accountability for when we do put out a date and a timeline that's followed.
Thank you, sir. So Team Greely, our goal is to over-communicate, and we do this in a wide variety of ways. Our Facebook page, our Instagram, our YouTube, our email distributions, our Garrison marquees. And if you aren't getting information, then we need to know, and we need to know why. And even more so, we need to know how you want to receive information. So please let us know by commenting below or sending us a message. We're going to get right back to you. Sir, don't you agree?
I do. Communication is always a challenge here, especially because we all have so many different things going on in our lives. We're not all on Facebook. We're not all on TikTok. We're not all on, this. We're not all on that. And people process information differently.
Absolutely.
So we definitely are trying to reach everybody with these great events that we're putting on and information so that everybody knows. So we'll continue to work at that and keep you, the PAO, gainfully employed to try to push out that information. So, that's a key, and communication is where it starts.
Absolutely. Sir, thank you so much for being here today. Team Greely, thank you so much for watching. We are excited to see you around post. We hope that you have a wonderful day. We hope that you get to National Night Out and that you stay rugged, friends.